Hi everyone, welcome to our dashboard course. Today I'm going to show you how we can make an Excel dashboard just in 30 minutes. So before we begin, let us take a look at what we're going to make. So this is a simple Excel dashboard for a timesheet product called My Clock. So the data we're going to show over here is the number of people who actually did the free trial, and then the number of people who went for a paid sign up, and then abandonment, which is another very important factor for a business. It shows that the number of people who actually started sign up process, but they never completed it. So for a businesses to improve their product, it is very important to know these numbers. And then similarly, the churn rate, it is actually a customer's attrition, meaning the number of people who actually completed the trial, free trial, but they never went for the paid signed up. So for businesses to improve their product and improve their retention strategies, they need to know this churn rate. Okay, so this is the sheet that we are going to use to make a dashboard. This is the same sheet that I use for testing, therefore some of the formatting is still left over. It currently has just two tabs, one is dashboard and the other one is raw data. So first thing that I need to do is to create my analysis, and for that I will go to raw data and I'll select this complete table and I'll go to insert pivots and then I'll hit OK. And the first thing I need is the date, and I want to group this to months. And the next thing I need is the free trial, then paid signed up and abandonment. And another thing we need is the churn rate. I've already explained what it is and why it is important, so we need to create a new field for that. I'll just click on this table and I'll go to pivots, fields, items and sales, sets, calculated field, and I will name it to churn rate, and then we will put our formula over here. I'll double click free trial divided by again free trial plus paid signed up, add, and then hit OK. Now I'll correct the formatting and I'll change it to percentage. Sorry. Okay. And since we are creating this table for our headline figure, therefore I will rename this tab to headlines. Okay, now we've got all the information that we need for our headline figures. Therefore we will go ahead and populate our dashboard. The free trial is over here, paid signed up is this, abandonment, and then the churn rate is this percentage. Okay, the next thing I need is to create more pivot tables so that I can create my charts that I want to put in over here. And then for that I will go back to headlines. I'll copy this table. So firstly we will create a chart for a comparison between free trials and paid signed up. So in this table I just need free trial and paid signed up, therefore I will pull out churn rate and abandonment. I'll click this table and I will go to pivot table, analyze, pivot charts. I will select line charts and hit OK, and then we'll do some alignment. I will just hide these buttons. I will delete legends and these lines as well, and then I'll control X, sorry, and I'll paste it over here. Now I want to resize it, so while I resize I'm holding down Alt key so that it perfectly snaps into the grids. Now you can see that it is perfectly lined with the cells underneath it. Next thing we need is the two more charts, one for the abandonment and the other one for the churn rate, and for that I will again copy this table, and I just need abandonment and churn rate. Therefore I will pull out free trial and paid sign up. Copy this again, paste it. So now from this I will remove churn rate, and from this I will remove abandonment, and then we will create two different charts from these. Again, pivot charts, line, okay, remove this stuff and just hide these buttons, Control X and Control V, and again I'm resizing it, holding down Alt key. Then we will create another chart for the churn rate. Again the same line chart, Control X and Control V. Okay. So in case you're wondering that why I did not put both of these into one chart, is simply because they are using two different metrics. Churn rate is obviously it's a percentage, and the abandonment is the number. So if I were to put both of these into one chart, this will simply show it as a flat line, so you would not be able to see it clearly. Therefore I preferred using these into two different charts. Now to maintain the theme of my dashboard, I will just change the colors of these lines, and I'll just select the first one. We'll go to format and shape outline. So these two charts, since they will be sharing same axis labels, therefore I will just remove this one and move this one to the top. So maybe I have format axis labels. And one thing you need to understand is that I'm using Excel Microsoft 365. So depending upon the version that you are using, you may be seeing different options for these charts. Okay, likewise I will move this one as well to the top, so that we are maintaining the consistency between the charts. Okay, now this looks fine and we are done with this. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to create legends, and for that I will go to insert, illustrations, shapes, and I will select line. So while drawing this line, I'm holding down shift key so that it remains same, and then I will just change the width of the line, and then I'll copy it by holding down control key, and I'm also holding down shift key so that it remains in the same position. And same way I'll copy it one more time and one final time. Now we will change the colors so that they're more in keeping with the charts. Oops, this is gone, so we'll just copy paste again. And then this. Now this is done, so let's get down here and start filling our top 10 tables. So first thing we need is our top 10 countries, and for that we will be creating a new pivot. So I will go to raw data and create a new pivot, and I will name it as country. The first thing we need is the countries and then the page signed up, and I actually need this twice, so I will drag it once again, and I want this to be displayed as the percentage of grand total. So what it means is that, for example, Argentina has total of 165 paid signups, which is 1.66% of the total signups. I will just sort it largest to smallest, and I can also select our top 10 countries by paid signup. Now this is done, and I can use this to update my dashboard. So I will reference this, copy it and paste it in the next 9 rows. And next thing we need is the paid sign up, which is this. And when I copy it down, it gives the same result, which is because if you notice the formula, it is showing get pivot function, which works only in case of values, which are these two columns. So what we will have to do is to remove this hard keyed field and replace it with the reference cell, which is B18. And now when I copy it down, it updates. Next we need is the percentages, which is this. So I will again override this and I'll copy it down. Okay, next is what we are going to do is to create in cell chart, and we are going to use repeat formula for that. So what repeat does is that it repeats piece of text number of times, and the formula is repeat double quotes because we are using text, which is pipe sign in this case, double quotes again, this number of time. Now this looks a bit crazy, and this is because this number is too high. So to normalize this, we will have to tweak this formula a bit. So I will divide this value by maximum value of this range, which is 1092. And in first case, since 1092 will be divided by the same value and will give a result of 1, which we do not want, so I will multiply this by 100. And I will also lock these cells. Now to make it look even better, the trick here is to use a font called Playbill. So, looks much better now. Okay, next we need our spark lines, and for that we will have to create a new table. So I will just copy this one and paste it. We do not need percentages, so I will just pull it out, and we want our dates. Grand total we don't need it, so I will remove. Now we can use this data. So I will select all the rows where I want sparklines to be displayed. Then I will go to insert line, and I will choose the data. And now I will change the color to green, and we also want to show markers. Looks great, right? So same way we'll be updating the other table, which is for the top 10 sales sources. So first we need a new pivot, and I will again go to pivot. I'll name it as source. First thing we need is a source, and then page sign up again. We will show this as total of grand total, sorry, percentage of grand total, and we will sort it largest to smallest, and then we will reference the data. The percentages, these two I will change the reference, and then I will drag it down. Next we need our insert chart. So we will be using repeat formula again, double quotes, pipe sign, divided by maximum value of this range, multiply by 100. Sorry, drag it. Choose the font to play bill, and next we need our sparkline. So again we need a new table. I'll copy it, I'll remove percentages, we need dates, grand total not required, I'll select all the cells where I want sparklines to be displayed, then go to insert line, and I'll choose the data. Okay, I'll change the color to green, and we want the markers as well. Now this is done, so next thing we want is to make this dashboard a little interactive, and for that we will be using slicers. So I will go to any pivot table and then insert slicers, and we want our dates, and if you see these settings, I want 12 columns, one for each month. Control X, and I will paste it over here. Let's change the color to green, and I will right click slicer settings, and I want to make sure that this last option, show items deleted from the data source, is unchecked. Now at the moment this slicer is connected with only one table, and what we want is that it is connected with all the tables. So we'll go to we'll right click, go to report connections, and we will select all of the tables that we want this slicer to control. Okay, now if I select a range of dates, it displays data for that particular period. So I can choose any dates, I can go other way, and I can also select specific dates by holding down Control key. Next we want to create report title that dynamically updates when we select different data from slicers. So we will go to pivot table, and first thing we want is the first month, and then I will concatenate some text, and we will use offset to know the last row in this pivot table. Sorry, the first reference will be the first month, and then I will use count A to count the number of rows, -2, and done. So I'm not going into the detail of this offset formula. This is a bit complex formula, so if you want to learn more about it, I have a separate video for that. I've pasted the link in the description, you can go and check out. Now we will go back to our main sheet, and I will just join this text with this. just add a space. Now if I choose any dates, it automatically displays that this dashboard has data showing up for Jan to April. Looks good. I will just hide the grid lines, and that's it. I ran through bit quickly, and if you want to learn more about charts, pivots and slicers in details, I have separate videos for that. You can go and check my channel, or I have pasted the videos as well in the description, so you can go and learn more about it. Until next time, goodbye and thank you.